Hey, what is up, fama jammers? This is your boy Jake here. I'm going to bring you guys a tutorial on the new closed beta of Valorant. From my experience on playing and the people I've been playing with or I've been partying up with, a lot of the game knowledge is still not available to people. And also, people don't also have the access to the closed beta. They also might not have PC. So I thought I would go through a couple of my settings, characters, guns that I prefer, and this will give you guys knowledge on the game itself. So first thing I'm going to go through is my crosshair settings. I usually get asked about my crosshairs because it's just this little dot here. It tends to help people just because how small it is and how precise the aiming is. So I'm just going to run through the settings. I'm not going to go by the numbers, but I will keep a little postmark so you guys can go back and look at this again, so you guys can copy it for yourselves, so you guys can tweak it yourselves, make it a little just plus sign. That's what I used to have. You can make it a little box, you can make the circle a bit bigger. So this is the general lines. These are the inner lines. If you want to make the circle bigger, you're just going to be moving inner line length and inner line thickness, and you'll make it bigger. You see how the circle grew a little bit. You make it smaller, whatever you feel like. Outer lines are all going to be 0, and everything after that is just going to be off. Movement arrow you can have on or off depending. I just keep it off, but just realize when you're obviously moving your weapon, gun is going to be swaying. So agents. So you can unlock every agent by doing their contract. You just have to click their character profile. Click activate right here, like I have Cypher's currently working. But if I went to Omen, I can activate his, and then you can view contract. And at tier 5, you unlock the agent. You get to also unlock sprays, weapon skins, and gun buddies. You also get to unlock like little titles and things like that. But so we're gonna start with the first 5 characters you get. One being Brimstone. His ultimate is Hellfire. It is this one right here. It's an orbital strike. It comes out in a circular formation, and it pretty much destroys everything in its path. If you do not get out of it in time, you will be killed. His C button is a stim beacon. It is a portable stim beacon that you just throw on the floor and creates a circular formation that everyone in it, including enemies, will have boosted gun stats. You can shoot faster. The recoil isn't as much. It helps you with that. E is probably one of his best abilities. It's 3 smokes. He uses his little gadget right here on his arm that opens up, and it's the whole map, and you're able to place the smokes before the round starts. His Q ability is also very good. It is an incendiary grenade launcher, which is in his hand right here. He's a very good support character. He controls a lot of the map, especially with his smokes, and then he can obviously cut off an area denial with his incendiary grenade. And then as soon as the bomb gets planted, the stim beacon helps to hold a specific spot. But just like I said, be noticed, the enemy will also get the stim beacon if they are in the vicinity or in the circle that it is in. His ultimate is very good. Now Jet is a very it's a very interesting character. It's a very fast moving, aggressive character, and sometimes this game a lot of players like camp angles. So this character is very good. Her ultimate, in my opinion, I think is the least effective out of all of them. You pretty much have to be very accurate with the knife that she holds in front of her. If you don't get headshots, they only do about 50 damage to the character. Like Brimstone, she has a cloud burst, which is smokes that she can control with her crosshair. So as you throw it, you can move it to where you would like it. Her E ability is a quick dash, and her Q ability is she is able to jump higher in the air than others, so she's able to get on boxes. So she's able to get into areas that most players can't. So I classify her as more of an AWPer. She's also a running gunner. She plays multiple play styles. It is typically for what you are going for. I play her as more of an AWPer just because she's able to get in positions that other players technically can't, and she can get out of it rather quick. Like when you're getting shot in this game, you're not able to move at all. So if you still have her E ability, if you're getting shot, you could quickly hit that and change your direction, and you can get out of the line of fire, which is allowing you to be able to survive the round. Phoenix is the third character we're going to cover. This is the character that I play most often. I think it is one of the best characters in the game, and you unlock it when you first get the beta. His ultimate ability, most of you guys follow me from Siege, so it's kind of like an Iana drone. It's basically like a drone that is a replica of yourself. You could shoot, you could take damage, you could die. The only drawback from it is if you buy a heavy shield, a light shield, when you come out of that, you automatically go back to 100 health. You lose the shield, you lose what you bought. So if you're going to use the ultimate, it is best to either use it in the beginning of the round or late round situations. So if you're going to use it early rounds, it's best not to buy a shield that round, just because you're going to be losing it most likely after your ult is complete. Then after your ult is complete, you're going to be spawned back in the same exact spot where you were. You're still going to have the same gun, or unless you say you kill somebody, you have like a Spectre and you pick up a Vandal. In your ultimate, you will get that Vandal back. Also, his two abilities, they hurt your teammates and enemies. However, his abilities heal him. He is a healer for himself. So his E ability is Hot Hands. It's like Brimstone's Incendiary Grenade, and it drops a little fire, circular motion in a certain area, so it cuts off areas. But also, if you are in a battle and you want to throw it down, cut off an area, and also heal yourself, you're able to do that. His Q ability is a curveball. It is basically a flash grenade. However, you can only throw it around corners. So it has to curve. It has to either go around a corner, a wall, a surface. It has to go around something, because if it doesn't, you will blind yourself. His C ability is a blaze fire wall. So it basically cuts off a whole side of the map. But like I said earlier, it will also heal him. To me, I think he's one of the best characters in the game. He provides so much, especially if you're playing this game solo and you're not playing with a full team. I think Phoenix is the go-to character, at least in my opinion, because you can heal yourself. He has a really good ultimate, and he has flashes. Not a lot of characters have that. Another good fragging character is Raze. Her ultimate is literally this grenade launcher you see right on her shoulder. It does have a timer, so you have to use it in a specific time. A lot of people will use her Q ability, which is a blast pack. It does do damage. However, it's mainly used for jumping up on boxes. So if you use it for yourself, you won't gain damage. But if you use it against other players or teammates, they will lose damage themselves. However, but if you use it to get on a box like Jet does, you won't lose damage. Her E, she's the only character that has grenades, so these paint shell grenades are very good. Once you throw it down, it explodes. However, as soon as it explodes, it turns into 4 smaller grenades that go out in a circle formation, and they'll go out like northeast, southwest, and it makes a bigger blast radius. So these are very good in early rounds and also late game when you know they're holding corners. Another ability that she does have is the boom bot. It's basically like a Roomba bot, but it doesn't clean an area. It basically looks for an area for you before you enter, and it will jump up and explode if there's an enemy there, unless they shoot it first. So she's a very good character in pushing by herself or with a team, because she's able to throw grenades, and then she's also able to throw the boom bot to cut off a spot or tell her if there's an enemy there before they enter the spot. Sage is another great character. I did not like her when I first started the game. However, she kind of grew on me. I wasn't a big support character, but in this game, you kind of have it's more support than like fragging intentionally. Like, you can frag out in this game very easily, but if you're not pushing with a team, it's pretty much kind of useless. Like, if you're using Phoenix and you're pushing by yourself, you're completely fine. But if you're raised sometimes and you get shot once or twice, you're down to 30 health. You can't really heal yourself. So Sage is a very important character. Her E healing orb heals herself with a right click, and it heals her teammates with a left click on the mouse. Her slow orbs are very powerful. They cut off a huge part of the map, and you hear a character if they walk on it. It doesn't slow just enemies, it slows your teammates, it slows yourself, and you move very slow in it. Her best ability, I think, besides obviously the healing and her ultimate, is the barrier orb. This is a thick wall that will literally cut off an entire part of the map when you wall it off. It will disappear over time. It's about 30 seconds or so. You'll start to see the wall start to decay and break, and then eventually it'll just break entirely. But for a decent amount of time, it will be there and cut off an entire rotate if you plant the bomb or if you're trying to defuse the bomb. It can also be shot by the enemy team or your teammates to be destroyed. Most likely or not, your teammates shouldn't be destroying the wall. They shouldn't be destroying it. If you're playing with a team, sometimes if you're not, you're solo queuing and you're playing a Sage, they will be destroying your wall. Another character, it isn't my favorite character, but it is a very powerful character. For me, in my opinion, I think it's an open character, but I think it's more support. His abilities are, oh wait, Evan, I forgot to say this. Her ultimate ability, she's able to resurrect a teammate. Whenever, doesn't matter who, you just use her ultimate, you go next to the dead body, and you revive them. The only thing is, the reviving takes about a couple seconds, so the character you revive is kind of in the air, suspended. So you kind of want to do a character that isn't in the line of fire, because if you do it in the line of fire, they will be killed very easily, because they can't do anything. As soon as they land, they have like a second pause, and then they can move. The ability is very useful if it's like a 1v3 situation, or you're in a 2v2 and you want to resurrect a teammate just to get them back to life, or if you're in a 2v1 and you want to resurrect a character that might not have a lot of money, not a lot of econ for the next round, and you want to just pick them up, have them pick up a gun, and then they save that, and they keep building funds, because a lot of this game is building your econ. And if you run out of money, you will easily lose this game, because if you just keep on buying guns that are way too much, you're not buying shields, you're not buying your ultimate abilities, you will lose this game very easily. Before I move back to Sova, I have to say one thing. The Q, E, and C abilities have to be purchased with in-game currency. You do not get them every round. The only ability you get every round, at least one, is your E ability. That's for every character. That's for everybody. You never have to technically buy your E. Like Brimstone, his E ability is 3 smokes. Obviously, you're using more than 1 smoke in a round, so you're going to have to at least buy 2 each round. Jet, she only has 1 dash, so that's it. His fireball once. Her healing orb does replenish over time, and she gets 1 paint shell every round. So Sova's ability is very powerful in my opinion. His recon bolt is very strong. You can bounce it and place it in any spot that you would like. However, the recon bolt, it goes over a big radius of land. However, if the person isn't in the vicinity of the bolt itself, it will not give away the character's position. So say if you put it on a wall and there's a half wall on the other side and they're hiding like literally right next to the recon bolt, but the recon bolt itself cannot see them, it will not do anything. It will not tell you the location of the character. It won't tell you that there's a character there at all. His Q shock bolt ability I think is very powerful. It could kill enemies if they're low enough, and also kind of cuts off a certain area because it obviously gives a good blast shock radius to the enemy. Like once again, it is on your bow and arrow, so you have the ability to bounce it or just shoot it direct. You can bounce it once, you can bounce it twice, or just none at all. His recon drone, which is an owl drone, I don't really think is very useful in my opinion. It kind of leaves you have to use it in a certain spot, because when you go on it, you're just kind of stranded, and if no one's covering you, you're kind of like a fish out of water. You're pretty much just in the open. Um, it is very easily destroyed compared to Raze's Boombot. It shoots firebolts and it's not as accurate as you would think, as like you would be aiming with a regular gun. His ultimate is very strong. However, you need the ability to know where the enemy is. So that's why when you use his ultimate, you should ideally shoot the E-bolt before you use his ultimate, because his ultimate is a bow and arrow, but it shoots through walls. If you see the enemy, if you do not see the enemy through the wall, or if you don't know where they're at and you're just going it open, you're pretty much stuck, because he moves very slow in his ultimate and he's pretty much stuck in that one spot. So if you don't know where the enemies are, you're done if you're going to use this. That goes for any character's ult. If you pull it out and you use it once and you miss and you automatically get killed, you will die. If you get killed sometimes while you're just bringing it out, you will still get it next round. Sometimes you don't. Another good character, which is like Brimstone, which controls the map. Her E ability is a toxic screen. It is pretty much like Phoenix's firewall. However, it is run off toxins. Her whole character is run off toxins. Her toxins replenish over time. So if you put up the wall in the beginning of the round, you start off with 50 toxin, and your toxin, once it goes low, the wall will disappear. However, give it 15-20 seconds, your toxins will go back up to like 60, 70, 80, can go all the way up to 100, and you can bring back the wall. Your Q ability is like a smoke. However, it is a poison cloud. It will hurt anybody in it. However, you can get your health back if you're like a teammate or anything like that. It will eventually come back to you like in a few seconds. Her C is like Sage's like her slow orb. However, it's just like a poison area. So if they walk through it, they're going to be losing health. And also cuts off like rotations or things like that. So if like someone is using a Brimstone and they smoke out an area, most likely or not, they're going to try to push that area. Sometimes they just put up smokes and they just leave it be. But if you put like a Snake Bite or a Phoenix Flame or a Slow Orb, it will help you know when they're pushing, and it will also cause them to get damage in the meantime. Her ultimate is super powerful. If she plants the bomb, it is pretty much over for the most part. Or if she's defusing a bomb or anything else, if she kills a bomb carrier and she's holding it, her ultimate is super powerful. It is a big toxic screen, and as long as Viper stays in it, the huge toxic cloud will stay in the game. Viper can see characters 10 inches in front, but the enemies can only see her 5 inches. So she has a 5-inch window that she's able to see the enemy before they see her. And like when you're on the enemy team, characters will go full body red, so you'll be able to see them entirely. It's not like they're like just the regular characters, you can't see them, they'll glow red. Breach, I think, is one of the most broken characters in this game. His abilities cause so much destruction and so much play. I don't have him unlocked yet. I'm working on unlocking him, Cypher, and Omen. In this game, you only get 2 free unlocks, so my 2 free unlocks that I used was Viper and Raze. 2 very good characters. Any character that you unlock, you really can't go wrong with. It's all about playstyle and how you like to use your character. So Breach, his ability is a flatline. He's able to release a quake, which can go through walls, and it kind of destructs the area in front of him and leaves you stunned completely. You're able to hold it from a distance, so you don't have to be necessarily in front of them. It comes out of his arm. You see his robotic arms. His flashpoint is a blinding charge, which will completely blind you. His aftershock is a fusion charge that fires a burst through a wall. This is the one I'm talking about, the burst one. This is it. This one, it does stuff, but it has to be in the vicinity of the zone. This is more of a big blast radius. It will do damage to the person if they're caught in it. And his rolling thunder is a seismic charge that will cause a cascading quake to a large terrain. And if you get hit by any of his abilities, you're able to shoot 4 times. 4 times until your gun pretty much goes to shit. So if you don't shoot and kill him or get out in those first 4 shots, you're pretty much dead. Another overpowered character which I'm currently trying to unlock is Cypher. Cypher can hold down a spot of the map pretty much by himself without support. He's a very good character. He gives out so much information for the enemy team or your team, whoever you're using. For me, primarily it's the enemy team because I don't have him. First, his trapwire is basically like a Capcan trap in Siege. It is a undetectable wire, and if the player runs through it, it will immediately tell the team where that person is, the location. It doesn't hurt your team. It only affects the enemy team. But it does have some drawbacks. If you were walking slowly enough, you can catch it before it goes off and you could shoot it. But if you get caught in it and you don't shoot it, you will basically get stunned like an Ela mine. So you have to shoot it before it goes off. If not, you are stunned. His E is a spy cam. It's kind of like a Valkyrie in my opinion. You can throw it on a wall and it will tell you. You're gonna be able to scan a whole area and tell where they are, and you're able to shoot a recon bolt, and it will go into the character, and they have to take out the recon bolt. If not, it will keep pinging them until it is taken out, and it'll give out their location every like 5 seconds or so. Every few seconds, it will go off. Another good thing, which is basically like his smokes. In a sense, it's a cyber cage. It will immediately go up. It will block out vision for an area, and also if enemies are walking through it, it will slow them down. So it is like a smoke, however, it will slow the enemy team down, and that's the only difference. But it does block the vision of you. So like if you're planting a bomb and you want to hold off a certain area, his cyber cage is very powerful. His ultimate is one of the most powerful in the game, in my opinion. If he kills somebody, or if he knows anybody on his team that has killed somebody, he can run to the dead body. He will take his hat off, throw it over the character, and will give out the remaining character's location. So like say if they're pushing like an A bomb or a B bomb, or in that one map they're pushing a C, you will know exactly what corner they're sitting in, where they're at, where they're located. It is very helpful when you're making a push with yourself or your team, or if you're just kind of holding the bomb by yourself. Omen, I think, is another great character. His abilities are very strong. His ultimate, he's able to spawn wherever he wants. It does take a few seconds to obviously spawn in that location, but he's very powerful, especially if it's a late round and you're pushing, say you're pushing to like a B bomb site and there's like 25 seconds left and you know everybody on the enemy team is on B. You can use his ultimate and go all the way to A bomb site in a matter of seconds, and you're able to plant the bomb. So his ability is very useful. It's also very useful for flanking, for getting a jump on the enemy team by either spawning in their spawn, by spawning behind them, be spawning where they won't expect it. His ability is very useful. He also has a shrouded step, which is like a smoke. He's able to shoot it through walls. It's kind of like brimstones in a sense, where he can place it wherever he wants. You're not able to see through his smoke. However, if you go inside his smoke, it is kind of like a lighted black ball that you can just go in and see everything that's inside of it. But you can't see anything in front of you, behind you. It completely blocks your line of sight. His Q ability... Oh, not his Q ability. C ability is... I know one of them he can... No, C... Oh, so Q is his smoke. His C ability is he's able to teleport to a desired location. It'll be kind of like a power bar, like a charge bar, kind of like Sova's bow and arrow. So if he uses it, he's able to teleport to any location that he desires. But it has to obviously be in his line of sight. If not, it would just pretty much be his ultimate. So he has to be in his line of sight, so he can either get on a box, he can get behind an enemy. It has to be in a restricted area. It can't be obviously across the map. That's what his ultimate is for. So his E is the shadows. His Q, I'm not really sure what it is. I haven't seen much people use it, but I think it's the same thing. I believe his Q and E are very similar, but they just do completely different things. My opinion, I think the best characters in this game are Cypher, Omen, Breach is broken, Phoenix is very good, Sage is very good, and then Raze and Viper are personal preference. I like them. I also don't think they're also very needed. Sova is good, and so is Jet, but also depends on your play style. Brimstone is a very good character. It falls in the same category as Viper, so it all depends on your play style pretty much, or the kind of a role that you play with your team. I'm just going to go through quick guns and just pick out my favorites. So early round pistols, the classic pistol is very good. However, I technically like to buy the ghost pistol. It does a lot more damage, and you can get one-shot headshots. You can get different color skins. Like if you do Omen's contract, this is a skin you'll unlock. If you do Cyphers, this is a skin you unlock. The Sheriff is very good. You have to one-tap. You have to one-tap the character. That's actually really nice. Jet's pistol. Frenzy I've never really used. Shorty isn't bad if you're holding tight corners. Stinger isn't my favorite. The Spectre is very good. The Bucky and Judge are broken in my opinion. The Bucky has really good range, and the Judge shoots like an animal, so you'll pretty much die very fast. Bulldog is alright. If you aim down the sights, it will do a 3-round burst. If not, you're usually shooting singles, or it also does 3-round burst on its own itself. This is a $2,100 gun. This is $1,600. This is $800. This is $500. This is $1,000. This is obviously you get every round. This I believe is $400, and the Shorty is $2. The Bucky I only think is no more than $1,000. I think the Judge is about $1,400-1,500. The Bulldog is $2,100. One of the best assault rifles I think is the Guardian. It comes in at around 2,700 currency points. A one-shot headshot is kind of like an FAL, a single shot gun, but if you keep clicking it, it does so much damage. You can hold up like in heaven or a high view spot where you can just peek out your head and you're able to see the enemy's head and you're able to kill them very easily. Phantom is also a very good gun. Vandal and Phantom are both cost you the same. They're both 2,900. In my opinion, the Vandal is a lot more stronger. But however, if you're a newer character or newer player to the game, the Phantom is more of a smart choice because you're able. It shoots more. The recoil isn't as bad due to the suppressor. The damage obviously goes away over time, like over distances with the Phantom. However, the Vandal does not. So pretty much it's personal preference. I prefer the Vandal just because of the pure power, and I played CS:GO a little bit, so it reminds me of the AK in that game. The Marshall is just like any sniper, like CS:GO or anything like that. You have to hit the head. If not, it doesn't do as much damage. However, this one, if you hit them anywhere, they pretty much die. These are the charms you could put on the guns, buddies, stuff like this. Stuff you can unlock. I have like this one from when I unlocked it. You unlock it, I think, at level 10 when you play this game. Ares is very good. It's about 1,700. It's very accurate. Obviously, you hold down the trigger. It's a 50-round mag, so if you shoot too much, it will not be very helpful. This game is not good for spraying. This gun does not help people that spray. You'll get killed sometimes by a sprayer just by pure luck, but it's more for recoil control and trigger control. The Odin comes in at 3,200. It's the same thing as the Ares, however, it has a 100-round mag. It does a little bit more damage, and it's very uncontrollable if you're spraying. So I don't really use the LMGs. I typically use the Vandal the most. Certain times I'll use the Guardian depending on the player on the map or where I'll be holding that round. If not, I'll typically buy the Spectre. I haven't fooled around with too much of the shotguns. I picked them up in early rounds, like when I'm just using my Ghost pistol. or if I'm saving like around, I'll just use my classic. But this game is primarily you have to save your econ. If you don't save your econ well, like if you lose the first round of the game or lose the first round if you switch, it will not be beneficial to you. I hope this video was helpful to some of you guys. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me on my Twitter, my Instagram, or even in the YouTube comments below. If you guys have any questions, like I said, reach out, join the Discord, message me. We can get games in. If you guys have Valorant, just feel free to message me about anything. If you guys like the video, or if you guys like videos like this, please drop a like and a subscription. And if you guys want more videos like this, just please leave a comment below, and I'll do more videos like this. I hope this was beneficial to you guys. I hope you guys learned something. I hope the people that are playing the game watch this and it helps them. Because a lot of the time when I'm playing with people, they don't know their abilities, and they don't know what their abilities technically do. If you don't know what your ability does in-game, if you hit F1 on your keyboard, it will come up in a full description on your bottom bar of your screen, and it will tell you what it does. However, when you're playing, sometimes you forget that you have those abilities. So remember every time when you're playing, the abilities that you have and the character you're playing and what they do to help the character. Because if you know what they do to help the character, the game will be so much easier for you. But I'll be ending the video now. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.